to Dark Throne to Dr. Shrinker. Buckle up. Things are about to get heavy. This is the Metal Podcast. Let's rock and roll.
And welcome to another edition of the Metal Podcast. I am DJ, and I'm with, as always, AC. How are you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm glad you didn't even try to give me an intro. You're all introed out.
Introed out. Yeah, we just got over our 50th, so this is 51. But we have with us a very special guest. He's been nominated twice, if I'm not mistaken, by the Grammys. Mr. Jason Bitner. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm all right. How are you?
Doing well. We got an eventful show today. I hope you'll be along for the ride, as they say. We're gonna get to a lot, but I want to know, what have you been up to lately?
Just got home from playing 2 raging sold-out shows this weekend with Shadows Fall.
Oh, wow.
Celebrating the 20th anniversary of the War Within on Saturday night in Jersey, and then Sunday with Hatebreed on their 30th anniversary at the Oakdale Theater in Hartford, Connecticut.
I saw that show advertised, and is it true that Carcass is the special guest?
No, you're confusing that with their tour announcement that they just dropped today.
Oh,
that's
okay.
The tour that's in the late summer to fall, with Carcass as their direct support band. I just saw that flyer on Facebook myself. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think I saw it yesterday. I was like, whoa, yeah, that is interesting. But yeah, so we had a couple authors on our show, Frank White and Alan Tecchio of the New Jersey heavy metal, and they mentioned that Overkill is the greatest band to come out of New Jersey. Would you agree with that statement?
I got in that argument with Pat from Fit for an Autopsy the other night about that. Yes, I would agree with that. Aside from Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen, yes, I would agree with that.
Well, what about Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons?
Oh, come on. That's really
he said band. He didn't say rock and roll band or metal band. He just said band.
And still, is Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons bigger than Bruce Springsteen? I don't think so.
Well, I'd say bigger. I said better.
I would still tend to say I think the Boss is the biggest Jersey artist, I would say.
Well, biggest. He just said best.
Well, that goes without saying.
All right, I gotta switch.
And now I will get an argument from Corey Pierce from God Forbid. Let's say we're the longest standing legendary metal band from Jersey. How about that?
That's put that on the tombstone.
Yeah. He who dies with the most toys wins, Blitz says all the time. So not many other bands have 20 records out.
No, that's a lot.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's a lot.
So now we're back to it. Good.
And okay. Did you guys play Fury of the Storm?
No, we did not play.
Oh, come on.
We've never played Fury of the Storm past when we recorded it at the WWE studios.
That's the extent of my Shadows Fall knowledge, just because I was a huge fan of Rob Van Dam, so I know that song. They used it
maybe one time on the air, like on a Thursday night at 2 a.m.
Okay, yeah. Here's the thing: I've never heard it in on an event of Raw or whatever, but it was in one of the video games.
Yeah,
because I was a big Rob Van Dam fan, so I always played Rob Van Dam in that game, and I was like, hey, that's not the One of a Kind song. I was like, what the heck? It's Shadows Fall. Okay. Because I remember hearing about it, but I was like, Shadows Fall didn't do the One of a Kind song.
That song was funny. The way that really came about is the WWE contacted our management and asked us if we wanted to be involved in it. And at 3 of us being huge wrestling fans, we were like, absolutely, whatever Mr. McMahon wants, we will do it. So, me, John, and Brian were on cloud 9 with this. We're like, absolutely. We went to the WWE studios in Stamford, Connecticut, and recorded it right there. But it wasn't like we wrote the song. They gave us these pieces, and then they kind of said, okay, you guys put your own stamp on it. So they gave us these pieces of music to work with. We kind of shadified it. Brian had some lyrics given to him, what we had to go with, and there you go. We created this thing literally that night in the studio. And It got played one time on the air.
Yeah, it's almost kind of like what was the point of all this?
I don't know, because as soon as I knew we were going to do this, all I kept thinking of was Motorhead with the game. I'm like, that shit gets played all the time.
Oh yeah,
we're gonna get royalties off this. People are gonna buy our records more. This is gonna be great. Nope, one play.
And there were two Motorhead songs that they did, and I think the other one was better than the one that they always played.
Probably.
It was the King of Kings. I only knew it because it was Motorhead. It was just another Motorhead song to hear. I'd never heard it.
And we met Rob Van Dam one time too, and he was a fucking jerk off.
Oh, come on. You can't put $1 in the swear jar.
Your song. And he's like, yeah, cool. Like, walk by, like, barely shaked our hands. We're like, what the fuck, man?
Gosh, $2 in the swear jar.
What the F?
Thank you. Yeah. Well, maybe they told him, like, hey, we got this famous band to do your song.
New Yorker on a metal podcast and tell him not to use the F word.
We have a clean rating, okay?
We do have a clean rating.
Apple. It's not us.
I don't want to ruin it for you.
Thank you. Yeah. It's because censorship is so, like, who knows what the rules are? Anyone can, or some people can get away with literal murder.
And then can I just comment on how effed up that is? Because
yes, please do.
All of the crap that you can put on TikTok and Facebook and everything else, like stuff that really doesn't need to be going out there, but but then people are offended if you say FUC, you know what. Anyway.
It almost seems like it's case by case. Like certain people are, going to use a term that people would understand, like made men. Like at a certain point,
probably turn my Morbid Angel hat around. Someone probably take offense to that too.
No, I don't think so. I think you're good with that. Maybe they have to blur it out in case Morbid Angel's lawyers come at us. You don't have authority to use our logo.
I'll wait for Trey. I'm sure that I'm sure he's going to be coming after me for wearing a hat.
He might be. I think he'd be thrilled that someone bought his beanie. I used to talk to that guy about Doom
It really
maps.
should say I Am Morbid on it, because that's really the faction that I follow. If we're talking the Bloods and Crips of Morbid Angel, I follow the I Am Morbid faction, because to me it's always been no David Vincent, no Morbid Angel for me.
Yeah, I've only seen Morbid Angel with David Vincent, and like Gateways to Annihilation, I think is a really good record. Like that is a solid death metal record, but I cannot name a single song on Formula's Fatal to the Flesh. And I remember Heretic, being like really bad. I thought that
Neither
album
can
sucked.
And pretty much the only one I can hum is the first one. Which is just a ripoff of Where the Slime Live anyways. I mean, for me, Morbid Angel stopped after Domination. Well, after the live record, but still,
well, sure. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, because I remember I wouldn't listen to Morbid Angel without David Vincent forever, and then eventually I was just like, okay, I've listened to Domination too many times. Like, okay, let's just try something else. Yeah, and Heretic was recent at that time, and I listened to the first song and I said nope. And then I
bought them all. I bought every single album. I still kept trying. I'm like, I'm still going to give you my money. Nope.
Yeah.
For me, it just, I'm really picky with certain bands. It's like, it's got to be that original lineup or this lineup for whatever, or, so it's kind of cool to see. It's actually very cool to see Pete back playing with David and I Am Morbid, because now you got more of Morbid Angel and I Am Morbid than you do in the real Morbid Angel.
That's true. But hearing Morbid Angel live, it's like he does fine on his songs, but when you hear him sing like Where the Slime Live, it just sounds wrong. Like that's the only way to put it. Like I have no problem with George Fisher singing Chris Barnes era Cannibal Corpse songs. It sounds pretty natural at this point. It's like Bruce Dickinson doing like Iron Maiden or something. But just hearing someone that isn't David Vincent.
I still don't want to hear Bruce Dickinson singing Paul Di'Anno songs.
Yes. Oh, sure, it's fine. But at this point,
as I love Bruce, it's just like that's still two separate things too.
Sure, but it's not like nails on a chalkboard.
No, not at all. Not at all.
And I think they know that. That's why they only keep it to Iron Maiden, just because that, again, at MTV's first broadcast, Iron Maiden by Iron Maiden was one of the first songs they played.
It was the third video. I remember like it was yesterday. I saw MTV from the moment it came on the air, and the moment that I saw the monsters with the lights, I was fixated on that band. I'm like, what is this band with the monsters holding the lights?
Yeah, that and
it was the Rothschild video.
No, it's Iron Maiden. Well, maybe they did it. Maybe they did it later.
I saw the Rothschild video before I saw Iron Maiden.
Okay, yeah, because Iron Maiden was on the very first broadcast, like the first day it went on. Because you can find that.
So was Rothschild.
Okay, I'd have to go back to it.
I'm not going to sit here and argue and debate it. I'm 54 years old. I know because I was there. I also know because when I was during the pandemic, I was doing Twitch, and I actually did a Twitch of MTV's first broadcast day, and I played the first 50 videos. In the first 50 videos was Iron Maiden, and Iron Maiden Rothschild.
Yeah, and it was next to like Rod Stewart, Phil Collins, Pat Benatar, the Pretenders, REO Speedwagon, Styx, and then just Iron Maiden is in the middle of that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Wrathchild was after Iron Maiden. I'm just looking it up. I didn't think you were wrong. I just watched it recently, and I was like,
no. The only point that I was trying to make was they were both on the first day.
Yes,
that was it. That's the thing that I said that I know happened.
Yes,
so I know I saw the first day.
Yeah, because I watched the first 2 hours because we had Jeff Carlisi from 38 Special on, and then he brought up that 38 Special was one of the first videos, and then I was like, oh, I'll go back and watch that. That sounds fun. And I was like, what? Iron Maiden was here? I stopped watching it after that because I saw everything I needed to. But yeah, so yeah, on the first broadcast, and I'm looking through it. I'm not seeing like Black Sabbath or Led Zeppelin. Nope. 2 Iron Maiden songs, and from 2 different records too. Like that's huge, and that just shows you how far MTV eventually fell. And I'm pretty sure that Enter Sandman is the second most played video in MTV history. So there was a time when
Iron Maiden was number 16, Wrathchild was number 35.
Yeah.
First day. Iron Maiden was sandwiched between REO and Rod Stewart.
That's a good sandwich. It's like having like a prime rib sandwich on like one piece of like white bread and another piece of like pumpernickel. It's like the oddest sandwich you'll ever have.
Well, it also shows the variety that music
kind of is just marble rye anyways.
But. That's true. But yeah, that's a good point. There was an actual variety at the time, like music, television. It was
absolutely. I mean, that day was the first day that I saw what a ska band was. When you saw the Specials and the Selector, when I saw a real punk band like the Jam, and then what was going to become heavy metal with Iron Maiden. I mean, it was for a 10-year-old kid who was immersed in the Police at the time. This was a whole other ball of wax for my future musical endeavors, let's say.
Yeah, and that just shows you that the impact that the media has on people, because it just okay. And I've used this example too many times lately. Do you watch Stranger Things?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, so when they had the episode with Master of Puppets, right after that became number 1 on iTunes. So that just shows you, all you need to do is put it in front of people, and then people will take it in. And then that's not a thing anymore. What is popular today is popular because it's available to people, not because people want it, not because it's good. Because you just looking at modern pop, none of this stuff will be looked back fondly on in years. Like now people kind of look back fondly on some really cheesy stuff from the 80s and 90s. Like people look back fondly on Ace of Base, even though at the time it was the same beat for all their songs. And I have no problem with Ace of Base, but there was definitely a period in my life where I was like, I can't believe. Sign. Yeah, exactly. now look at you. It clearly opened up your eyes. But no one's going to look back years from now and say, oh boy, remember all those Iggy Azalea hits? Gosh, those were the days, weren't they? And everyone's going to remember this period of time too, when everyone hates each other. Like everyone lives in a police state. Everyone has to watch what they say or else they'll get like black bagged and thrown off a boat.
Let's talk about, I know we're going to get to this, but you're bringing all this stuff up now about the way that the music business and the way just people in general are and with what they get thrown in their face. Tekashi
69,
whatever, 679, whatever the frick his number is, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do.
Yeah, the Netflix documentary. Let's look at this idiot, because that's exactly what he was. He was insanely huge for like what, 3 seconds? And like all the, the power of TikTok and the power of having it in your face, in your face, in your face. Does anybody ever heard of this guy in the last year, 2 years? No. Right? Like it's insane how quickly something is here and can sell trillions of, downloads, whatever. The guy still made money. And for someone who's been slagging it out for 35 years in the music business to hopefully make 40 grand at the end of the year, it makes me fucking sick. Oh, sorry, again. But
that's $3.
This is a passionate thing, because this is it's really ridiculous to people who are real musicians and who have carved a path for themselves and worked at their craft for dozens of years. For something like that, I have nothing against rap, because I like some rap. I like early things, like when it was first formed, when that genre was first coming out and it was new. But this stuff is just, it's not even music. It's just entertainment. That's all it is. Entertainment.
Well, and the thing is, with that guy in particular, it's not like old one-hit wonders where there'd be a song and then people like the song. No, people just saw the guy he was a freak. He looked like a clown. He talked like a moron. He was just some degenerate criminal, and everyone saw him everywhere. And then so they bought his songs. They downloaded his songs, whatever it was, and it had nothing to do with the music. It would be one thing if like this guy's a freak and he has a song and it's actually like a really, oh wow, that's a good song. I can't believe this demonic Ronald McDonald looking criminal. I can't believe. No. It just, people didn't care what the song was. They just wanted to.
Oh, they're just watching 3 minutes of this idiot and his friends running around. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Did I watch Gummo a couple times? I certainly did, because I kept going, how in the hell? Why? And I would share it to my friends with 4 question marks after it and things like that. So yes, I'm guilty of making his numbers go up too, but it's just, it's silly.
Yeah. And it roped you in too. And it was all the marketing too, like, cause that's what they do. They market the people. They don't market the art. And this is something that DJ and I've done lots of episodes on, where these people come out of nowhere and they'll have a number one hit like 3 months after, not always just starting recording, but first dabbling in whatever genre they're in. It's not just because people called Roseanne Barr an overnight success because she came to LA and then she became a hugely popular comedian, but she was doing stand-up in her home turf for like 10 years before she finally trekked out to LA, where that's never the case with these people. It's not like he was rapping his whole life. No, like this guy was just an extremely online.
I just decided yesterday that he just wanted to paint himself up 6 different colors and become a rapper. That's what it is.
That's the story with a lot of them.
Way more respect for him if he spent 10 years rapping in the basements and rapping in my high school, and I was really working at this craft, I'd have no problem with that. Way more respect. You take your 6 trillion hits. You deserve it. Not, this seems like something that could be cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, I would give him a little more respect. I mean, I still wouldn't respect him because he's a freak, and people like that like need to be muzzled. I know what you mean. I know. I'm just adding my asterisk. I do know what you mean. Yeah, because it's not like these people, they are more interested in the fame game. It's not like I want to be a rapper and then X, Y, and Z. It's I'll be a rapper because then I'll get famous. Like that's the reason that they do it. And it's like Motley Crue were extremely famous, and even outside the music world. And a lot of it was because of their infamous partying. And someone would see them and be like, wow, I could get as many girls as them. I need to learn how to play guitar. I need to learn how to play drums. I need to learn how to play bass. Like that was the mentality. Where these people, it's the opposite. It's like, I guess I can be a rapper and then I'll just be famous. And for a lot of people, it does work out because they get a lot of press because so-and-so just shot rival rapper goofball in the face over apparently one stepped on the other's Jordans. And then now he 1 billion downloads on Spotify. Like that just seems to be the story every time. And just no one cares about the actual music. They care about the sensationalism. It's like the next evolution of Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Like Jerry Springer was the thing in the 90s, but now this new thing, it's like TikTok rapper beef. Because at a certain point, Jerry Springer, that bit gets tired. So you need the next thing. Like Pot doesn't do it.
Jerry
okay,
Springer was
how about
more entertaining though?
Well, sure it was, but it also shows, and I genuinely agree with that. But it also shows how low IQs have dropped since then. Because you would watch Jerry Springer and you're like, huh.
And back then you weren't dealing with the cream of the crop on that show either.
No, and even like those people, like you would watch Jerry Springer and you'd be like, wow, these people are trash. But now these people are such trash that it's just like, this is just embarrassing. Like there was a line where eventually, like, do you like horror movies?
Horror movies?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Pretty much my favorite genre of movie for the most part.
Okay. Yeah. So with watching horror movies, like you can do with the gore and the violence and whatever, but that doesn't mean you would want to watch an actual snuff film or watch someone like being murdered. Like that to me, that's the line. Because if you're watching like Saw 3, which is an extremely graphic, violent movie, and the violence does look realistic, you do know that it's fake, but if you saw that in real life, you're like, no, that's disgusting. That's horrible. Yeah. And because someone might say like, well, what's the difference? It's like, the difference is that's not real. Where obviously Jerry Springer, there was the allegation that a lot of it was staged, sure, but that's not why you watched it. But that's, to me, that's the evolution is you got Jerry Springer, which is like, haha, look at this bottom of the barrel. But this modern stuff, it's like, this is below the barrel. This is subterranean. This is like the Morlocks barrel. I can't deal with this. But younger people, and it's a lot of it, it's like people raised on porn and just like violent news, and just everything is so extreme that of course that they have to have like people that they have online feuds that end with like actual murder. And that's entertainment.
Yeah. The rap and even current pop, it is a net negative. Like, and you brought up this Tekashi 6ix9ine guy,
but you know everybody's going to say the same thing about metal too. Black metal, blah, 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 blah.
Well, I was actually
not to interrupt your point, but
no, you're good, because I did think about this, and there is an objective way of looking at this, and I was going to save this for a future show, and I'll just tease it, because me and AC, we kind of go our different paths, so we kind of look into this stuff. We have a big show coming up that we're still working on, but something I'm working on is, I was like, you know what, let me look at the list of murdered like musicians and
one Euronymous. That's it.
okay. And then for
rap, sadly, all right. Well,
we could do Vince Neil.
But no.
Vince Neil with the guy from Raz Rock. What is that?
Razzle from Hanoi Rocks.
Yeah, Hanoi Rocks.
Yep.
But
that wasn't a murder though. I mean, Euronymous was a straight up murder. I mean,
but
Vince Neil was a manslaughter, homicide. It wasn't like he
but it was
didn't drive the car into a truck to try to kill Razzle. But
it was Vince Neil was directly responsible, and it was because of the lifestyle that he was living. Right. It wasn't like they were on the road for 300 days and then he just was tired, fell asleep at the wheel.
More beer, drunk.
Yeah,
it was
exactly. Yeah. So, but I'm just trying to be fair. Like, you got to throw it in there just for the sake of this argument in particular. But go ahead, DJ.
Well, and now with this Tekashi 6ix9ine, you can just look him up. His name's Daniel Hernandez, and he was involved in a child sexual performance charge from 2015, almost 10 years ago. And then he's gonna, and it is a little disturbing to read, but he had physical contact with a 13-year-old girl and later distributed videos of the incident online as part of a music video. 3 videos were described in the criminal complaint against Hernandez. In the first, the child engages in oral sexual intercourse with the separately charged defendant, Taquan Anderson, while the defendant, Daniel Hernandez, stands behind the child, making a thrusting motion with his pelvis, smacked her on the buttocks. The child is nude in the video. I mean, this is 2015. Then he's got a choking incident at a shopping mall in 2018. Robbery, assault, and kidnapping incident again in 2018. Chief Keef shooting in 2018. Wow, 2018 was a big year. And yeah, like this guy's gonna get trillions of 2019.
It's people like this that don't deserve it.
No, exactly. That's the point of the show.
This is and that's just legal issues. Like 2024 Dominican Republic domestic violence arrest. Like, why is this guy like allowed to be free in the world? Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is a net negative. And then you get into controversies. I'm not going to list them, but he's got controversy. Well, maybe Trippie Redd, Chief Keef, Ariana Grande, and Justin Bieber. Other feuds. Like, this is not a good person. Like, and then after
I want to see the Biebs knock him out.
Yeah, and then afterwards it says philanthropy.
That's a blank column, right?
No, I think they spelled full on rapey wrong.
Yeah. Philanthropy, FIL.
He's a philanthropist. No, he's a full on rapist. It's different.
Like a. And then it did mention something that in part of like the pedo stuff he was doing, that he needed to like get his GED. Like, somehow that's going to make it better. I don't want to make fun of
he doesn't have a PhD. What, you don't want to make fun of this guy after all the things you just read that he did?
Well, it's too easy. Like,
I not only do I want to make fun of this guy, like I want to make him walk the plank, like, we're pirates in the 1600s.
Sadly, what's going to happen right now, because we're going to bring this up and this is going to air, there's going to be 10% of people right now that are already Googling this idiot. And he's gonna get more views of that stupid video.
Now that is true, and I know there is a thing that people would say, like, oh, you can't draw attention to this because you're just feeding the trolls or whatever. But I think in cases like this, you have to draw attention in a negative way and just point out how much of a piece of trash this is. Because anyone that says like, oh, I think this guy's cool or whatever. Well, that's not a person that you're trying to reach. Anyone that looks at this guy and just thinks like, oh, no, that's entertaining to me. Like, well, that's an already low IQ person. Because there's a lot of people.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that you'll look at and you say, like, why is this person famous? Well, a lot of their audience are people like them, and they just want validation for their own pathetic existence. So those are people you don't need to reach. It doesn't matter. You can't help them at all. So it's perfectly fine. You take some social reject like this and never stop mocking them, because they need to be mocked. Like, this is not a paragon of the social elite, and that's how
this behavior.
No, you don't. But like, this is what they parade out. Like, kids, this could be you. Like, look how famous he is. It's like, well, look what he does to be famous. And what does that say? Like, we used to have our heroes used to be like Neil Armstrong or like General Patton. Like, we used to have
Ted
like
Williams.
I don't know who that is.
He's a baseball player who like stopped in the
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams.
Yeah, are you a baseball fan? But yeah, like
yeah, but I'm a Yankees fan, so I would have said.
Okay, Babe Ruth.
Babe Ruth.
Kill two birds there. You can satisfy both teams with that one.
Yeah, Lou Gehrig. Yeah, like that. That's the point. It's like you used to have these people, and like the worst thing that Babe Ruth did that got him thrown out of a game was he said "damn." I'm not saying that's the worst thing he did, but I'm saying that's what got him thrown out of a game. Like these days, like if you don't say "damn," I feel like they probably like. I don't know, they draw and quarter you. Like that's the bare minimum that you need to be doing. Like athletes are just such pathetic degenerates.
I know where you guys are going. We're talking real heroes. That's what we're talking.
Yes, and now our real heroes are just like not just drug addicts, but like drug dealers, like actual criminals, like people that murder people, like not just rapists, but child rapists. Like this is the heroes of society now. And this to me is one of the crucial reasons why metal was turned off, because it does have a positive effect on people's lives. Like maybe not everyone in metal lived healthy lives. Obviously, we can look at our hero Dave Mustaine as like, don't you like? I want to live like Dave Mustaine in 1988. Like, oh, you want to do crack and heroin? Okay, that's probably not healthy. But just looking at these people in their prime and saying, I'm going to pick up a guitar and I'm going to do that, versus now where it's like, I'm going to pick up a gun and rob someone, then I'll be famous on TikTok. Like that's yeah, that's, well, maybe you might have to rap. I mean, but that's how the mighty have fallen.
Yep.
Yes. And specifically, I know that you were in the Get Thrashed documentary, produced and directed by Mr. Rick Ernst, and he came on our show.
Friend of the show.
Big friend of the show. And I will keep beating this dead horse, because it's easier to beat something than that it's dead already than something that's alive that fights back. But he did tell us that when he was at MTV, they got a direct order from the top saying, turn the metal off. Overnight, your show's canceled, and it was at the peak of metal, specifically thrash metal. And I'm so glad that he did make that documentary. It was very enlightening and insightful, but metal deserves more. It deserves to be in the mainstream. This Tekashi 6ix9ine, like, we should never have heard of this guy. Like, this guy should just have been in prison his whole life. Yeah.
Well, in 2015, he should have been
on tour. What is this?
Let's make a documentary about this child predator.
Well, yeah, he should have been in prison for life. Like the fact that he just wasn't locked away for 50 years, chemically castrated. Just, I don't know, pick your crime, because like I am a little more sympathetic to like second and third degree murders as far as like not getting a life sentence, because sometimes you don't know what's going to happen, something bad, and a bar fight can get out of hand. And then, second degree murder, and then, maybe 10, 15 years, you're out in 8. You didn't mean to, but you don't accidentally rape a child, because that not only ruins their life, but it also endangers the life of everyone around them. And so there's like, this is generational life ruination. And not only did he not go to jail for life, he got to be a celebrity.
Yep.
After. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. I do remember hearing about that, but I figured that was after the fame. Like the fame went to his head, and then he did all that stuff. But no. This is pre-fame.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And it just shows when someone's not famous, that shit's kept under the rug. Like no one there was like no one blasting around the internet that Daniel Hernandez or wherever the hell his name is was with a child. It was after he was famous, then it gets dug up and then, it's brought to light. But then what are you going to do? He already got that fame. You can't take it away from him now, sadly. All you can do is just go, all right, this further affirms that I thought this guy was a piece of crap. Now it further absolutely proves all of that yes, he is. He's more than a piece of crap. He's a giant piece of crap.
He makes terrible music. Yeah,
yep.
just a couple of days ago, you had this Philadelphia rapper, Fat G's, shot and killed, and you could watch. Yeah, you could watch him die on Twitter.
I don't need to do that. Thanks.
Exactly. It looks like it was like it was like a Ring doorbell. I didn't watch the footage, but I saw that it was there. What was it? Wasn't it a Ring doorbell, like an Amazon
doorbell? Yeah. And the weird thing is that he goes up to this car and like they're talking for a little bit, and all of a sudden shots are fired, and then after he gets shot, he's shooting back at the car. So it's like, why? Like you bring a gun into a situation, like you're obviously inviting that violence. Like, I'm not trying to get too like into this, but I'm like, I just thought it was weird. But when you read the articles, it's just like, yeah, he was shot and murdered. It didn't say that he was armed with a gun himself in his waistband. Like, whoa, yeah, I always like go talk to people in cars late at night with a gun at the ready. Like, what do you think was going to happen?
Do you think that he bought that firearm legally?
Oh, he looks like he must have been a law-abiding citizen. Yeah,
he sounds like one. He's just standing his ground.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Philadelphia is one of those places that does have really strict gun laws. I don't know enough about it. I've never been there, but just everything I've heard about it just seems like that. And then when you have these people they're always career criminals. It's not like we looked this guy up and he was on the honor roll. He volunteered at no-kill puppy shelters, and he was a upstanding member of the church. It's always like, when he was 13, he was first arrested, and then when he was 15, he was fourth arrested, and then
that's the thing. It's when there's like 3 or 4 arrests before the kid's even an adult. It's like you're already effing up as a juvenile. You know where I'm not trying to paint a stereotypical picture, but no, I don't know. It has nothing to do with color. It has to do with the person being an idiot. Color doesn't matter. If you start out down that road and you just have no repercussions for the rest of your life and you just don't give a crap on how you're going to treat other people, then guess what? You're going to continue down that road and you're probably going to end up in prison or dead. It's the people who start there who actually realize by the end of their adolescent years that, hey, maybe I don't want to be an F up for the rest of my life and maybe I can, turn my life around. And thankfully, there's more, I think, of those than there are, the career ones. But it's like when you're already a shithead that young, chances are you're going to be a shithead for the rest of your life.
Well, your life's not going to be very long.
Well, and especially like we have a society now that glorifies the bottom of the barrel. So those people that start out crappy, they don't really have an incentive to clean it up because they get rewarded for being as terrible as possible.
Yeah.
So like if someone is just like, okay, if you start being a criminal, like violent crime, we're not talking like stole a bag of chips from, a Wawa. We're talking like at 13, trying to steal a car. Like these are people that are already influenced by negative elements, and they're surrounded by people that say like, oh, that makes you cool. That gives you street cred. And then, okay, I went to jail, but Tekashi 6ix9ine just had this documentary that they were talking about on a metal podcast. So clearly, if I keep doing this, I'm going to get my own Netflix documentary. So now, why should I turn my life around? I'm going to have to walk on eggshells. Yep.
Painting a precedence. That's all it is.
Yeah. So why
I can't have to
it's not too late for you to start stealing cars and rapping about it. Okay.
I'm too old for that. I'm definitely too late for that.
Hey, you're never too old to break the law.
Attitude.
I didn't say that. I just said it's too old to steal cars and try to run from people and things like that. No, thank you.
Well, yeah, I guess, at a certain point your knees start giving away.
Instead of my breaking the law was smoking pot in New York before it was legal. Now I don't break the law anymore. There you go. Now it's perfectly legal, so life is good.
Isn't it legal in like Seattle or Portland to do like heroin on the street or something? Like one of those places.
It's not legal, but it doesn't matter because if you're in Seattle or Portland or Vancouver, people do heroin on the street all over the place. The three main clubs that you play in all those cities, whether it's Meow Meow in Portland or the Roseland in Portland, or the Showbox in Seattle or the Commodore Ballroom in Vancouver. They pretty much are basically on Junkie Row. And every time you go there, there's always a story. But the last couple of times I've gone there, it's just got worse and worse and worse. Seattle's like tent city now. It's pretty sad.
That's awful.
Yep.
That is. Oh, with this Fat G's guy, like, yeah, we've never heard of him, but
wait, wasn't that search engine from the 90s? Fat G's?
I don't know. No, but he did a song with Meek Mill, and I've heard of him, and so I looked him up, and lo and behold, we got a whole legal issues tab on Wikipedia.
Lo and behold, also his rap sheet came along with him.
Yeah, that's why they call it rap music.
Rap sheet.
Yeah, it's funny. When he was 18, he was arrested for illegally possessing a firearm and beaten by the police. And because of the beatings, both his lips and eyes became swollen, and one of his braids was ripped out. And then I think he was trying.
I want to just slightly interrupt that. Like, I'm not like a big cop sycophant, but I mean, if this guy had an illegal firearm, he probably did pull it on the cops, which led to the beating. It's not like they beat him and, oh, look, he has a gun on him.
Oh, look, he's got a gun too.
Yeah. I think especially with
that young man.
Yeah, especially with what we see today, I'm going to actually give the cops the benefit of
for writing those rap lyrics.
Yeah. I do think there is a problem with police brutality in general, but I think in this case, he probably did pull the gun on one of the cops, and then they just saw that as an excuse to beat him. And look, if someone pulled a gun on me, if someone pulled a gun on me, I'm going to do everything I can to not get shot.
My best friend from high school just retired from 30 years as a cop a couple of years ago. Two of my cousins are both officers in the Schenectady force. I back the police 110%. I'm not saying that there isn't police brutality, but I also think that the defund the police and all that stuff is ridiculous because these people are protecting our property and our lives.
Well, and the defund the police movement seems to come from the areas with the most violent crime. And then in a lot of those places, they did defund the police. And now the violent crime went through the roof. And now they're asking for the cops to come back. Like this is
all I know is if I was going in on a call and someone pulled a gun on me, the first thing I'm doing is pulling my gun out in retaliation. I'm not getting shot first.
Well,
if I was a cop,
especially if it's like a me or them, it's like, okay, I'm expected to put my life on the line to protect this community, and this is a criminal who's literally terrorizing the community.
Yeah, okay. I'm not saying I want to go shooting people. Not at all. Right. It's a him or me situation. That's what we're talking about.
And it's a him or me of a neutral to good. Or sure. A Z or Zer. And the them in this situation, it's not like the pastor of a church, or it's not like the dean of the underprivileged college. Like, this is like a drug dealer or a murderer or someone that's like stealing cars. Like this. Yeah. And the sympathy for criminals, like all of this kind of ties together. Is like these rappers, they're not just rapping. Like they're not just like, Grandmaster Flash with The Message, or, Sugar Hill Gang. Like, I said a hip hop.
I have no problem with all that stuff.
Yeah. Like, these are people.
Enjoyable.
Yeah, they rap because it's a means to give them more street credibility. Like that's their goal is to become Scarface. But But ultimately, I think they fell asleep because it's a long movie and they just didn't know how that movie ended. And that seems to be the fate for a lot of these people.
All they got was guns and cocaine.
Yeah, they fell asleep in the last 10 minutes. That's what they took
out of it, guns and cocaine.
Push it to the limit.
Yeah, I was going to say in that sweet Push It to the Limit song.
Oh, yeah.
But
guns and cocaine and say hello to my little friend. That's all they could retain from that.
Yeah, they just saw a few clips. They didn't see the last shot of the movie. But that...
Right.
And
the conclusion.
So you have these people that are on that kick, and then on the other side, you just have just criminals in general being glorified. Like again, like I'm not a cop sycophant. I'm neutral on the issue because I live in an area where you can encounter some dickheads, but you encounter a lot of nice cops too. It's just you cannot guarantee that your encounter with any human being, regardless, is going to be positive or negative. That's just how it is. Like there's good cops and there's bad cops, but a lot of the time when you see, oh, these cops they're abusing this person, it's like that's a violent criminal. Like the craziest one to me was there was the guy that got shot like 10 times. He didn't die. He was paralyzed. And he had just come back he raped a woman and robbed her. And this was like after there was like a few like cops that killed people, and they say like, why do they have to kill them? Why can't they shoot them to incapacitate them? It's like, well, you had a cop that shot and not killed a guy, but there was still outcry against the cop and in defense of this man that just raped and robbed a woman. So I
think the NBA like didn't they protested and didn't play a few like basketball games in support of this guy.
Yeah, it was something Blake. I know.
Exactly. Yeah, that was the one. Yeah.
So there is an actual glorification of like criminals in general. So it's if you're a criminal, you get public support. So there is actually an incentive to be a criminal. And that's where I think you have a lot of this. The youth culture is gravitating towards this because rap has almost always been associated with crime. And it's. I mean, when rap didn't make it into the mainstream like that takeover until Straight Outta Compton. Like that was like gangster rap is what propelled rap into the mainstream. And then from then on, it almost became solely associated with criminal activity. So I think that these people are chasing that dragon. It's not like I'm going to be on stage and everyone's going to think that I'm cool and that I'm going to get this, that, or whatever. It's like, no, everyone on the streets is going to like know me and fear me because I kill people. And then, oh, you don't believe me? Well, I'll rap about it. I know the details. Here's my new song. And thus we have the creation of drill rap, which is DJ's favorite genre.
Yeah, it's great. Let me rap about the murders I actually am on like trial for, if they even comes to that. Drill rap. What was it? Pop Smoke.
That's one of them.
He got murdered. Yeah, and then you end up, you have a philanthropy and activism section in your Wikipedia after all of these different drug and gun convictions, several violations, incarceration, house arrest. You get pardoned by the governor of what was it? Pennsylvania, like Meek Mill. He got pardoned. Like
finally.
What would it take? Well, yeah. It's gross. But then so when he gets out of state custody, he becomes a leading advocate for criminal justice reform in the United States. Like that's gotta be a joke.
Well, didn't some guy wasn't there some guy he was on Joe Rogan recently and he was like advocating for like crime reform and he was talking about how he was like unfairly imprisoned and then when he got out they like found someone's head in his refrigerator or something. And like I think his dad was like a similar like not just like a murderer, like something went wrong and he shot him, but like he was like he stalked and like killed someone like a slasher villain.
Oh God. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, like welcome to our music show, Jason.
Welcome to our metal show.
Yeah, our metal show.
Generally, the metal we talk about.
10 more minutes here, gents, and I got to wrap up. I got to get to a chiropractor appointment today.
Okay.
No. We are approaching the hour. But we believe you have some lyrics in front of you.
I have something in front of me. I don't know if I go as far as calling them lyrics, but I have some words. I have some words on a page.
It wasn't written by Hemingway?
Unless it was Hemingway on a bender.
Hemingway on his deathbed.
At his most absolute drunkenness form, maybe, but I don't think so.
All right, so what song do you have for us?
Sleeping Problems.
All right.
Got a lot of them.
F dash 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 N apostrophe problems. By ASAP Rocky.
Oh, famous.
Never heard of him. I've heard of Rocky, but I've never heard of ASAP Rocky. Of course, I'm sure he's never heard of Shadows Fall or Overkill, so I could care less. But would you like me to recite what I'm looking at?
I would love that. American poetry.
Well, this is a chorus, I guess. It says chorus. I love bad bitches. That's my effing problem. And yeah, I like to F. I've got a effing problem. I love bad bitches. That's my effing problem. Poetry. And yeah, I like to F. I got a effing problem. I love bad bitches, and that's my effing problem. Well, all right, repeat this 3 times because that's exactly all he keeps doing. And yeah, I like to F. I got an effing problem. Yeah, you can't think of any more lyrics. That's your effing problem. Oh, wait. If finding somebody real is your effing problem, bring your girls to the crib. Maybe we can solve it. Hey, is that like the Fonz? Hey,
that's how I took it.
Or is that hey? Like Larry David.
Well,
then there's the verse. Hold up, bitches, simmer down. That must be the backup lyrics or backup vocals. Taking hella long, bitch. Give it to me now. Make that thing pop like a semi or a 9. Gun reference. Ooh, baby, like it raw with the shimmy shimmy. Yeah, huh? ASAP, yeah, get like me. Never met a mother effer. Fresh like me. Yeah. All these mother effers want to dress like me. But the chrome to your dome make you sweat like Keith. Keith who? Keith Urban? Keith Sweat? Probably Keith Sweat, right? Keith Hernandez?
Keith Richards.
Keith Caputo? Because I can't say that. I can't say that like how you figure. Yeah. It's the word that started with the letter that comes after M. Getting figures and effing bitches. She rolling swishers. That's a blunt. Brought her bitches. I brought my word I'm not going to say. They getting bent up off the liquor. She loved oh, man. She loved my licorice. I let her lick it. All right. I got to use that one. I love my licorice. They say money make a word I'm not going to say. Act. Another word I'm not going to say. More words I'm not going to say. I be effing broads like I be effing bored. I'm not going to say that word either because I would offend the another bunch of people. It's a lot of words you can't say here. Let's just say it's done because the rest of it I can't say. And it's the same verse again with he likes to F and that's his effing problem.
Yeah. So this song
how many? Oh, yes. Thank you. Yeah.
This song has 500 million plus streams on Spotify. 500 million for that stroke of brilliance you just read us. I feel so much smarter and ready to go do good things in my life.
You know what's almost worse about that? And now I'm actually going to take, believe it or not, I'm actually going to take ASAP Rocky's standpoint on this. How many streams did you say it had?
Over 500 million. And that's just
500 million. So
yeah.
ASAP Rocky probably got about $5 in his pocket from all. How effed up is that, Spotify? Yeah, I can't show you the middle finger, but that's why I say to Spotify too. But still, 500 million streams. At least 10% of that went and bought his record, so he still made some money, even though he's got an effing problem.
I'm pretty sure
I think he's with Rihanna, right?
Oh, that's good.
Say it again?
I think he's the one that had children with Rihanna, or like they're currently dating or whatever you call it. I'm pretty sure. And she's a billionaire, so I guess I don't think he's too worried about money.
So he's like Stedman.
Yeah, that song had 6 writers for it.
You know what? Stedman's still counting his dollars, though.
Heck yeah, he is.
Stedman's still going, I don't mind being a +1. No problem. Whatever the O says.
Well, you know,
yeah,
go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Jason, we really appreciate you coming on, and
certainly this has definitely been one like no other. That's for sure.
Hope
we aim to do that. We try to be the outliers in a sea of people that are all sound the same.
Yeah, but where can guys find you? Anything you'd like to plug, talk about before we let you go to your chiropractor?
Why do we actually talk about music on here? That's right. Oh, I forgot it was an actual music.
We talked about WWE music.
That's true. We did. I can't plug. I can. Yeah, sure. I can plug a bunch of things. I plugged the shows, but they just happened 48 hours ago. So that was awesome. So anybody who came out to Jersey and Hartford, thank you. Shadows Fall appreciates it. The next thing we have coming up is Welcome to Rockville in Daytona on May 9th. And then we'll be at the Incarceration Festival in Mansfield, Ohio on July 21st. Then we will be at Aftershock Festival in Sacramento on October 13th. Trying to keep between 2 bands and all these festivals and dates, trying to keep it all straight here. October 13th, and then we will also be at the Worcester Palladium, again, celebrating 20 years of the War Within on December 21st. So that's the calendar year for Shadows Fall so far. In the midst of that, we'll be finishing up our new material and finally getting that out this year. I have a brand new bunch of people and music and all that comes out in July. I can't really talk about that right now, but you'll see it when it comes out in July. Ooh. And as far as Overkill, we have a South American tour that starts in less than 3 weeks right now. Like about 2.5 weeks, we leave for South America. Us and Anthrax for about 75% of the tour. And then we have a couple off shows just headlining on our own. And that'll be 3 weeks in South America. Then we get back from that, and on the heels of Shadows Fall in Rockville the following weekend, which is the 17th of May, I will be at Milwaukee Metal Fest with Overkill. Then May 31st and July. May 31st, June 1st, Overkill has 2 shows, Pennsylvania, New Jersey. Then we get to August, 2 festivals in Europe in August, and then we go back for a summer tour that starts August 30th that goes through September 21st or September 20th. And then we're back. We literally come back the 20th, and then we play New England Metal Fest on the 21st. And that's it for Overkill for the year.
Wow. I don't know how you
between both bands every month is
like,
every month is full. I'm full for the rest of the year aside from June, and that's the month I plan on redoing my bathroom. So no gigs in June. Oh, hopefully I'm not going to cut my hand off or mess myself up ripping out my bathroom.
Wear gloves.
Wear gloves.
I do, but still, even last time, just pulling up the tile, I ended up messing up my shoulder for a good 2 weeks.
Oh, gosh.
Shit.
I'll hire someone this time.
There you go. Yeah, hopefully. And before we, let you go, is there a song that we can play of yours
that you'd like us to play?
Like us to play.
Something you'd like to promote?
Sure, you can play the Power by an Eye by Shadows Fall.
All right. Excellent.
Covers it all. No F words in that one, so we're good.
Well, you get artistic freedom for music somehow.
Yeah, music's fine.
We'll stick with that one.
All right. Well, we'll see you on the other side. And Jason, thank you. And we'll put all your links in the description.
Awesome.
So don't go anywhere.